Hello, and thank you for stopping by. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. I was watching an episode of Blue Bloods this morning, and it was from the other night, and it's a brand new episode. And ever so often, I'll watch a TV show that will have something within it that they have pulled out of our daily life or our daily routine. And in this episode, they were dealing with a news reporter. Not somebody like, say, Walter Brinkley or somebody like Walter Cronkite or somebody from like your local news station or like international news like MSNBC or Fox. And I don't really consider that to be news, but they were dealing with someone in this episode that had a cell phone with a video recorder on it, and they were considering themselves to be a news reporter. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have noticed with YouTube that things have been allowed to spring up. Now, I'm an artist. That's what I do. My videos that I do here, those are opinion pieces. Those are my opinions, the way I see issues that rise, things that I talk about on here are my opinions, personal things that I've been through. And once in a great while, I'll come up with an idea for a video that I will do, and it'll get a few responses. But so far, I don't have very many subscribers. I have very few views, but I do this anyway because it's important to me. And hopefully you will get some kind of enjoyment or some kind of use out of it. But personally, I'm an artist. Now, that's what I do. I draw. I love people. I'm a people person, and I do portraits. And I'm pretty good at it because I've been doing it my whole life. I'm 54. So I've been sketching and drawing since I was about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. So I've been basically doing this about 50 years. And I see a lot of artists out there that are way better than me. They're technically proficient, they're photorealistic, they're really, really good at what they do. But I draw. Now, I take photographs of my some of my models that I use for my work. But I'm not a photographer. I don't claim to be a photographer because just because I have a camera and I take photographs, that does not make me a photographer. And I'm on Model Mayhem as an artist, and I do artwork and submit it on there. And ever so often, models that want to be models come to me and they ask for a portrait, or they asked if I can redo a photo that they had taken, fix the hair and things of that nature. I can do that, but I'm not a photographer. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because with the advent of the internet and the advent of the digital camera and the advent of cell phones, smartphones, such as like I'm using to do this video, smartphones, everybody and their grandmother thinks that they are now a photographer because they can take a photograph. And anybody and their grandmother who can get in front of a camera and pose thinks they're a model. Not necessarily true. You have to have talent for such things. Back in the old days, especially back in the 40s and 50s, women would take classes on how to model. They would learn poses because, you know, they did pinup art at that time, and they knew the types of poses that pinup artists usually liked, the way they were going to be able to pose you. Now, this is a little off the beaten path, but it ties in, so bear with me. When I get my hair cut, I know my barber. I know my barber, and I know what he's going to need me to do. So as he's moving around my hair and as he's moving around my head trimming, I know how to slightly turn my head without him asking. I just know. I know how to do that because I learned that from getting my hair done for the last 15 years. So whenever he's on this side of my head and he's getting down around my ears and going, I will turn like this, and then I will turn back when he gets on this side. If he's on the top, I will tilt down. If he's in the front, I will tilt up. If he needs me to lower, I can kind of tell where he's putting his scissors or his trimmers, and I will lower my head down in the chair. That's just instinct. And a lot of people do not have that. Now, with the advent of the digital camera, and a lot of cell phones have cameras that are way better than, like, I use Nikon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get it and show you. This is my Nikon L830. It's not the most expensive camera. It's very cheap, but I like it because it takes a very good photograph for what I do. If I was a photographer and I did this for a living, I would not be using this. I would be using a much more expensive camera. Now, when the internet popped up and everybody could put their stuff online, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it gives an opportunity for those that are good to show off their work, but it also allows mediocrity to set in. And what I mean by that is that it allows anybody to just put any old thing up onto the internet and display it. And there's going to be people out there that will like it. One, because they're afraid of hurting the person's feelings, or two, because maybe their taste is eclectic and they just like it. Now, how does that stem into news reporting? Well, anybody that believes that they are a news reporter can now put up a YouTube channel, give their opinion, and call themselves a news reporter. And I have seen that spring up since Donald Trump has become president. Now, I'm not down on Donald Trump, so don't go there. I did not vote for Donald Trump in either election, but I understand Donald Trump, so I cut him some slack. I do not think that Donald Trump was a good president, as presidents go. I believe that Donald Trump brings out the worst in people on purpose. Now, having said that, news websites sprung up all over YouTube. And also prophets that prophesy have sprung up because, one, they figured out a way to get views from people that are seeking any kind of information that suits their fancy. Now, I'm not saying that they're reporting news. News is straight down the middle without any objective, but getting you the story as it is, not how they see it. My opinions are opinion pieces. My videos are opinions. This is how I see things, and I tell people that this is how I see it. That doesn't mean that that's exactly how it is. I try to tell you how it is, but I also give you opinion on how I see it. But there's a lot of news that are slanted toward Trump. There's a lot of news that are slanted toward Biden. But very seldom do you see any news pieces that are slanted toward the actual piece itself. Like the Capitol rioters. They can say, oh, Donald Trump wanted us to do this. Or they can say, so-and-so wanted us to do this. But the actual story is that there was rioting happening at the Capitol building. They were protesting at the Capitol building. Some of the rioters broke into the Capitol building and did some mayhem. That is the story. That is the truth. That's what they did. They broke in and they created some mayhem. Now, I can speculate on why they did it. I can speculate on who put them up to it. I can speculate on people within the Senate working with the rioters to help them get inside. I can speculate on all that, but that's just an opinion. That's my opinion on how it happened and why it happened. The fact of the matter is that rioters broke into the Capitol on January 6th, and rioters destroyed and damaged the Capitol building. That's the story. Everything else is just speculation on everybody else's part. But the internet has allowed people to come up with that speculation. The YouTube and Facebook and various other platforms, which I'm not down on them per se. I am not down on them per se. I know that they have allowed a platform for that to happen. Now, I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe in freedom of the press. Having said that, I also believe that we need to use good judgment when we do things. We need to have good moral compass, and we need to know what we can and can't do. And a good journalist, anybody that's worth their salt as a journalist, realizes what to broadcast and what not to broadcast. You got to know what to say, when to say it, and also what not to say and when not to say it. Just because it's news doesn't mean that it's necessary for everybody to know about it. There's things within our government that are private that the media and the people do not need to know, because it puts lives in danger. It puts lives in jeopardy. And just because you assume that everybody needs to know, or you believe that your right to know is more important than everybody else, that's selfish and that's self-centered, and it's not right. So, what makes a reporter a reporter? Just because you have a camera and you talk about the news, does that mean that you are a reporter? Just because you have a camera and can take a photograph, does that make you a photographer? And just because you are somebody that's halfway decent looking and you get in front of a camera, does that make you a model? No. That would be no different than my camera trying to be a cell phone. It was not created to be a cell phone, no matter how badly it wants to be one. News reporters are news reporters. They go through school, they take training, and if they are any good at their job, they do not report the news with a slant. They report the news as it is, and they allow the viewer to come up with their own opinion on it based on what they've been told. I know that it's going to hurt people, that it could put people in a tight spot. People say they want to hear the news until it offends them, or they want people to report the news until it bothers them. Then they don't want the news anymore. They want to be comfortable. That's why CNN is so popular. That's why MSNBC, Fox News, Blaze, and various other things. I don't really consider those to be news. I consider them to be entertainment channels that talk about the news. I do not consider those people to be reporters. Sean Hannity is not a reporter. Now, I'm not down on Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity is a cool person, even though I had a beef with him on his radio show a few years back because he got into it with the pastor of my church. But he is an entertainment personality that does talk about the news. He gives his opinion, and he'll let you know what his opinions are. Is that right or wrong? Maybe not. It depends. Do you like what you're hearing? Or do you not like what you hear, but you know it's what you need to hear? So, what do you think? How do you see it? What do you consider news and not news? Everybody's got an opinion. That doesn't make it wrong. That just means that it's their opinion. And occasionally what somebody believes in is not good or it's not right. So how do you change their mind? Maybe you can't. No matter how hard you try, maybe you just can't change their mind. They have to be able to bump into the truth on their own. And when they do, they will feel pretty small about it. Nobody likes to lose and nobody likes to feel let down. So let me know what you think in a comment below. Do you have any ideas about this? Do you know anything? I mean, do you have any favorite news outlet that you consider news? What do you think about that? Put it in a comment below down here. If you would like to give my video a thumbs up and a like, hit that like button and thumbs up. Also, if you would like to subscribe, hit that subscribe button right down here and the notification button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. Like I said earlier, this is just one man's opinion. I'm going to let you go on this note. Remember, make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best we can today. Have a good afternoon, America, and all points beyond.